Hey everybody! Today I am having a plate of nachos. Uh-oh. Maybe if I take small bites instead? No, sure, that works. Alright, I was burned bad by whatever it was I had last time. Skittles? Yeah, I was burned bad by the Skittles last time. So, no more Skittles for me. But small bites of nachos? I think I can make that work. Today we're talking about our fourth Marvel movie, Thor. So let's get into it. So we start with the scene, there's Game of Thrones hard to see, where these two girls and a guy are in like a Hummer, and they're going to try to find something. Something's happening in the atmosphere. We don't really understand a whole lot about it. And then all of a sudden, this human male body hits their front windshield or their side windshield and falls onto the ground. And then we flash back to a Lord of the Rings mythology of these people called the Frost people, I think. We didn't learn anything about the three people who were in the car at the very beginning. We didn't need that scene at all. We could have just started with the mythology and it would have been fine. We see two boys that come together and they kind of touch this glowy thing. And apparently they were born to be king. Then we see the face himself, what was kissed by the angels, Chris Hemsworth, and that was too big of a bite. I realized the two boys were Thor and Loki because I have heard enough of the legends or basically just enough of the recaps of these movies for me to realize that there is a Thor and a Loki, and I know that all the ladies really love Loki for some reason, which I've never really understood before. It's Coronation Day for Chris Hemsworth, but during the coronation, the Frozen people, whatever their names are again, I always forget. I had written it down like 7 times and I had to look it up every time, so I'm just not going to look it up anymore. Those Frozen people apparently attack during Chris Hemsworth's coronation, and they're all killed during it. But then Thor apparently needs to have revenge right away, and the king does not want revenge because he's trying to get there to be peace between the two nations. Thor disobeys his dad and then goes and attacks the Ice Nation people anyway. His dad ends up coming and saving him because Loki decides to tell somebody that they should tell his dad to come and rescue them. And that's what saves their lives. And then Thor is banished, which ends up then with Loki becoming king. But not before we find out that Loki was actually a stolen baby of the Ice people. So now we've gotten through that entire Norse soap opera. Then we end up back on Earth, and what we end up discovering is that there are 2 girls and 1 guy who are looking for this discrepancy in the atmosphere that they've discovered recently. Thor ends up hitting their car while he falls from space, and then they end up taking him to a hospital because that's what they assume he needs. When they come back, they can't find him, and then they back up and they hit him with the truck. So I at least admired that there was a little bit of humor. This is getting into that more sarcastic, lighthearted kind of filmmaking that I'm excited to find. But it's taken an awful long time. Oh, those ice people, they're called the Frost Giants. Sorry if you're a stickler for that kind of stuff. I like their self-awareness. They're getting there. They're getting there with the humor. Then we flash sideways, interdimensionally. We flash interdimensionally back to Asgard. I don't like any of these people. I don't like the king. I don't like Thor. I like Loki the most. I think just because his intentions seem the most pure, although he's kind of evil in a way. Obviously, I want to change him. Magic is just science we don't understand yet. I have to wonder if this movie was scripted by the Ancient Aliens guys. Also, can we just take a second to admire Natalie Portman's performance in this? Okay, obviously I'm not seeing like every movie. I stick mostly to Disney properties. But Natalie Portman, the last movie I watched her in was Star Wars. And I mean, let's also just take a moment to recognize how George Lucas just ruins people's acting. S.H.I.E.L.D. is portrayed as bad guys here, and I like that. I was confused by one thing though, and that is, how can Thor be a part of children's books in this universe? Have there been many Thors? Or is there an alternate time between the two dimensions? However, Thor's hammer is like the coolest thing I've ever seen. Throughout the movie, there's this portal that they move from one dimension to the other dimension through. Halfway through the movie, they demolish that portal because Loki is going to destroy something. Loki kind of went back and forth. He seems maybe like the Jack Sparrow of interdimensional beings. In the end, I really liked this movie. I liked Chris Hemsworth. I liked Natalie Portman. Tom Hiddleston was really fun as Loki, and I can see why people like him. And the biggest takeaway that I had though with this one was the final credits scene, because we see the guy who was with the two girls talking to the, I forget his name. He ends up saying the words that Loki tells him. And we see that he's in the room, that Loki's in the room, just because of a reflection. So, I have no idea what that means. I actually suspected him of being a villain at certain points during the movie, but that never came to fruition, at least not that I could see. So that was definitely enlightening. Thank you guys for joining me today. If you liked what you saw today and you enjoy going through these Marvel movies with me, please like and subscribe. Also, you can subscribe for more Disney content. I'm trying to grow the channel and I need you guys' help in order to do that. So if you guys would join me, here is a little Instagram picture for you to be able to take a screenshot of and send it off to your friends or Facebook or Insta or whatever else you want on social media. Bring other people to come hang out with us while we talk about Marvel movies, Disney movies, maybe Star Wars universe. Who knows? The options are almost limitless. I'll see you guys again next week on Tuesday. Bye.